guys, and today we're gonna read chapter 3 of The Prince in Trouble. Let's get started. Chapter 3. Okay. The Prince in Trouble. The wrong side of the gate. Take that! Shouted the soldier, hitting Edward again. The prince fell down in the mud. He picked himself up and threw himself at the soldier. You will die for this! He shouted. The soldier stepped inside the gates again and shut them with a bang. Laughing and shouting, the crowds chased the prince through the streets further and further away from the palace. At first, the prince shouted angrily at them. Stop that at once! If you don't stop my father, the king will send you to prison. The people thought that he was very funny. They laughed and laughed. At last, the prince was too tired to shout at them, and they became tired of chasing him and left him alone. He looked around himself. He did not know where he was. Although he was terribly tired, he was afraid to lay down. He did not feel safe. He had never been really alone in his life. Then he saw a great building a long way away. I know that place, he said to himself. It is Christ's church. It was a church long ago, and then my father made it into a home for poor children. There they are well looked after, and they are taught to read and write. I will go there. They will be kind to me because my father was good to them. The pupils of Christ's church. Slowly on his tired feet, the young prince went towards the great building. Soon he saw a crowd of schoolboys. Next page. Page number 11. They were all dressed in the same blue clothes, small round black hats on their heads. They were playing happily together in the playground. The prince went up to the nearest boy. Boy, please tell your teacher that Prince Edward is here and would like to speak to him. The boy stared at him in surprise. Why has Prince Edward sent a beggar to be his messenger? I am not a beggar, and I am not a messenger. I am Prince Edward, and the king my father built your school. Now fetch your teacher quickly before I get angry. Did you hear that? Shouted the schoolboys to his friends. The beggar boy says he's a prince. Come on, let's have some fun. They seized the prince with their strong little hands and pulled him towards a big stone bath in the corner of the playground. The bath was full of water for horses to drink. Next page, 12 page. So fast reading I did. Sometimes the boys sailed their toy boats on it. Now they threw the prince in the water. When he tried to get out, they pushed him again. After a few minutes of this, a bell rang. Dinner time, the boys shouted. They ran indoors and left the prince alone. My father was kind to those boys, said the prince as he climbed out of the water. He gave them food to eat and clothes to wear, but he forgot one thing. He did not teach them to be kind and good to people who are poorer than themselves. And when I am king, I will change all that. Tom's father. The prince felt very tired and terribly alone. Where could he go? Nobody believed him. Everybody thought he was mad. He tried hard to remember where Tom lived. At last he had the answer. Fish Street, he said to himself. That was the name of Tom's home. If I go there, surely Tom's family will help me. They will take me home to the palace. It was starting to rain and a cold wind blew through the holes in his borrowed rags. The prince felt very cold and alone. Suddenly, a big ugly man seized his arm very hard with his great hand. He was very dirty and he smelled of beer. How much money did you get, Tom? Shouted the man. Give it to me, or I will break every bone in your body, or my name isn't John Canty. Oh, so you are his father, said the prince eagerly. Please take me back to the palace. My father, the king, will reward you. He will make you a rich man. You will never need a bag again. His father. What do you mean? I am your father, and I'm going to beat you until my arms are tired. Don't make me jokes, please. I'm very tired and cold and hungry. Take me back to the palace. Your son is waiting for you there. John Canty shook his head. The boy's mad. He said, that's what book learning does to people. He turned to the prince. You're coming with me. He seized it was arm again and pulled him towards Fish Street. A pauper in the palace. Meanwhile, as the prince was on his way to Fish Street, Tom Canty was staring at himself in the mirror and enjoying his beautiful new clothes. He sat down on furniture in the room. He stared at all the wonderful pictures. At last he realized that the prince had been away for a long time. He began to worry. He begin. Blah. Begin. What will happen if somebody comes in and sees me wearing the prince's clothes? Perhaps they will kill me at once and ask questions later. Softly he opened the door, hoping to see the prince. At once 6 servants in beautiful clothes bowed to him. He stepped quickly back into the room and shut the door again. They are laughing at me, he thought. Now they will fetch the soldiers to take me to prison. Oh, why did I ever come here? Just then the door opened and a servant said, the Lady Jane Grey. A sweet young girl in a blue dress came into the room and bowed in a most respectful way. Lady Jane was Prince Edward's cousin. At first she looked pleased to see Tom. Then she saw his worried face and she said sadly, what is wrong with you, my lord? Ah, be kind to me, sweet lady, said Tom in a shaking voice. I am only poor Tom Canty from Fish Street. Please ask the prince to give me my old rags again and let me go home. He went down on his knees while tears poured down his face. The girl stared at him with a frightened eyes. You are not well, my lord, she cried. You must not mean to me. You are the prince. And what is all this nonsense about rags in Fish Street? Oh dear. Then she turned and ran out of the room. Now they will take me to prison. And Tom to himself, I shall never see my home and family again. Tommy is the king. There was a knock at the door. Tom was terribly frightened. Come in, he called in a shaking voice. He was sure that the king's servants would put him in prison. Two tall gentlemen came into the room and bowed. They had course to fetch Tom, but they did not want to take him to prison. Your father wants to see you, my lord, they said. My father? But he does not know I am here. He is at home in Fish Street. The gentlemen shook their heads sadly and led Tom into a very big, beautiful room. On a bed lay a very tall, very fat man. He had small, dark eyes and a big white face. Sorry. Okay. There were bandages around his legs and he looked tired and ill. He was Henry VIII and he was King of England. He spoke gently to Tom. Now, my son, this is a foolish joke for a prince to play on a king. You are the king, whispered Tom. Oh dear, what will happen to me now? The king looked sadly at Tom. The story is true, he said to himself. The boy is mad. Aloud, he said kindly, come to your father, child. You are not well on shaking legs. Tom the pauper went up to the King of England. The king took the frightened face between his hands and looked lovingly into Tom's eyes. Presently, he said, do you know me, child? Don't break my heart. Say that you know me. You are my lord the king, whispered Tom. That's right now. Don't be frightened. Nobody will hurt you. Everyone in the palace loves you. There you are better now. Your bad dream has gone. You know who you are, don't you? Please believe me, my lord. I am poor Tom Canty, and I am speaking the truth. I am a pauper, and there has been a terrible mistake, but I haven't done anything wrong, and I am too young to die. Help me, my lord. Don't send me to prison, please. Sweet prince, do not talk about dying in prison like that. Nobody wants to hurt you. Then can I go home now? Home? Yes, home to Fish Street to my family. Okay, so this is over. So we will see you soon of Is the Prince Mad? Full. Okay, so we will read it soon. So we will see you, okay? Okay, Papa? Yes. King? Yes. Okay, guy? Okay, Lord? Yes. Goodbye.